I don't think it's Hoffman. Yeah, Hahnemann.
Mm-hmm.
So I was thinking about James Randi yesterday.
Were you?
Yeah, I was thinking about, well, we've been working on our conference that's coming up, Nauticon. And then I'm thinking about TAM and, just trying to remember details about what it was like going to TAM. And how stream of consciousness goes. And I'm like thinking about Randi and all the stuff we did with Randi. And then I watched a couple of videos that Randi had made where he was on different TV shows and, like documentaries about it's pretty awesome. That guy's career was super entertaining, intellectually valuable, and it was like a humanitarian effort, And when you look at the old school video of Urey Geller on the Tonight Show, the night that Randi told what's his face,
Johnny Carson.
Johnny Carson
Shut him down.
So Johnny Carson saw that they had booked Urey Geller, so he asked Randi, like, what can I do to make sure that this guy can't do any trickery, So Randi said, don't let him use his own gear, right? He's going to bring, I can't read that, Bob.
Hohmann transfer orbit.
Okay. He said, don't let him bring his own gear, like none of his own spoons or any pieces of metal, all that stuff. You supply him everything and don't let him come in contact with any of this stuff before the show, right? When you watch it, it's actually embarrassing to watch because it 100% of course proves that Urey is like complete bullshit, And Urey was acting like he was like acting as if like he was intimidated by the stuff on the table, and he's like saying he's under a lot of pressure and that like he doesn't have his power, isn't working right then. He was being super dodgy. Of course, he couldn't accomplish a thing. All just because Randi said don't let him come in contact with his props.
Yeah. So we just did for TikTok. I reviewed a different video where Randi. It's the one where the guy moves the pages of the telephone book with his mind.
Yeah.
Right, and Randi shut him down by just putting little like Excelsior around it, little foam pieces.
Yeah.
So that he couldn't blow the page. I remember when Randi demonstrated that to us. You went like this, right? And then cheap dude, but the thing is, like, you're far enough away that you blow, and then you turn away, so you're looking away when the air hits it, right? Yeah. It's very convincing illusion.
Nice move.
But anyway, Randi told us this story multiple times because he loved the story about how he foiled this guy with just the little foam pieces. So you watch the video, though, the guy's standing there for like a minute, like trying to move these pages. Of course, he's not doing anything, right? And I figured that he spent that minute thinking up his bullshit excuse for why his powers weren't operating that night. And he had the lamest excuses. It's like there's electricity between the light and the foam is interfering with the powers. Like, it was ridiculous. But it was fun to watch.
Yeah, that guy, it's fun to watch them squirm, because
the squirming and the rationalization.
But to think, Randi's like, all right, how's he doing it? All right, he's using air. He has to be.
Yeah.
Randi had to sit there as a magician and figure out, what's this guy's what's the trick. And when you watch the guy do it, he does approach the phone book because it's just an open phone book, right? With the pages like facing him, so like the pages would move forward away from him, and he approaches it kind of dramatically, but I think it was out of necessity because he needed to get the airflow moving. You know what I mean? And it looks really cool.
I don't know if that was necessary.
A lot of it's really cool.
Distraction. It's just anything to make you think he's doing what he's not doing. What he's doing. You know what I mean? Whatever he's doing, he has to divert you away from that as much as possible.
Yeah, that's a great thing that he did. So another cool thing that I really love is Urey Geller went on the Barbara Walters show, and he tricked her. He like bent her key, right, her home key. So he bends it, with sleight of hand, and then
he told us how he did it. He held it in his hand. He stood up from the chair, and when he stood up, that's when he bent it. He was pushing the key against the the arm of the chair.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was done. And then everything after that was bullshit. Then he it was already bent, and he just was, did this showmanship thing for a minute, and then boom, put it in her hand.
So she bought it, and she
freaked out.
She was 100% like, yep, this guy's got powers, right? So then Randi comes on her show. And the way that Randi handled her and the whole thing was so smooth. You know what I mean? He wasn't like offensive. Yeah. He just, he's just basically saying, this is what he did. This is how he did it. So they bring out another key, and he's like, okay, he's got the key in his hand. And Barbara Walters goes, all right, I am not going to take my eyes off of that key. Right? So Randi was capable of making her actually lose sight of the key without thinking she lost sight of the key, right? So he had a really good sleight of hand to do that.
That's what I was talking about. That's how Randi did it.
Yeah.
He did it when he stood up by pushing it against, leveraging it against.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, Urey Geller did it a similar way. He bent the key right there when he was sitting there. He had to bend it somehow while he was there.
You're right.
Because what he does is he'll like take the item and then he'll talk about something else. Mm-hmm. And divert your attention with another story or whatever, and then he'll come back to it, and he's done it at that point. He's bent it. Yeah. So Randi does it, and Barbara Walters, like, you could see the expression on her face where she's like, "Oh my God, the guy's a fake." You know what I mean? Like, he completely convinced her that this guy just did sleight of hand on her. And I just thought Randi's performance on that was so awesome. I mean, he's such a genuine person, like. Mm-hmm. It's almost as if he's not performing. He's like, super genuine. I really miss him. I miss all the, I miss the times that we had with him throughout the year. Remember when he was on the show for a little while, like he had his own segment.
That was awesome.
Yeah, he was definitely awesome. But speaking of conferences,